Welcome in and thank you for joining us on the Pay the Price podcast. This season is called The Dawn of the Diliculum, and you are tuning in to episode 9. In Dawn of the Diliculum, we are playing Starforged essentially as it is available. The great thing about this system is that it can be played cooperatively. No GM necessary, so everyone is a player and helps craft the story. And since there's no GM, there's practically no prep time between shows for any of us. So as we do every week, we are sitting down to play with absolutely no clue where this story is going to go, so you get to listen in as it unfolds in real time. You can play just like we do and learn more about what we've got going on, and show your support at patreon.com/samuraibeat. We will have patron-exclusive content, and we'll be publishing other shows like The Midnight Connection, Eddie and my conversational podcast about two dads talking about whatever we want at the only time that we can. With all that being said, let's get into the game. My name is Chris Batu, and today I have with me the primary players of the Pay the Price podcast, starting with Mr. Eddie the Red Tree Fuentes.
Buongiorno.
The Guru, Roman Picardo.
Kumusta ka na?
And the newly minted Virginian, Ivan Palaroan.
Konnichiwa, arigato gozaimasu.
All right, so truth be told, it's been a while since our last session, so I'm going to do my best to recap where we were. For you faithful listeners, you're going to know if I get something wrong, I apologize, but it's been a while. But true to the style of our play, we're just going to go with it. So strap in, guys. It's going to be fun. On the last episode, our intrepid crew found themselves heading towards the planet where we believe Duke's Jasmine to be, based on the information from other Leech Queen Jasmine. And on the way there, they received a distress signal from an iron home called Nexus. Now, iron homes are these huge colony-type ships where, vast amounts of people live. And so to receive a distress call signal, they had to be concerned about it, and they went to go investigate. Throughout the process of investigating, they would arrive there, found dead bodies everywhere, and no one else to be found. No power on, and so the crew decided we should head over to the engine room, restore some power, and maybe find faster ways to travel throughout the ship, like trams, for example. Upon arriving in the engine room, the group is waylaid by the sheer force of the sound of the engine pistons running, and it's so powerful that it actually required headsets if possible, and if not available, it was enough to essentially knock a person out. So they're struggling through that the entire time, and the crew got split, not too far though. One team went to go investigate tram information. The other team went to go and try to shut off what was active in the engine bay. After doing so, while recovering from this oppressive sound from the engine room, the group found itself essentially under attack by what can only be described as banshees. So, shambling humanoids covered in blood, presumably the same types of humanoids that essentially tore the bodies apart that were discovered earlier. They were clambering up the walls and around the scaffolding and letting out banshee-like screams that were high-pitched enough to pierce through the deafened ears of our party. And that was where we left it. So, I'm going to try and set the scene here. So, just for a little bit of a background inside baseball for you guys, the only thing we prep ahead of time is usually whoever starts the show, and I admittedly am not ready, so we're winging it. So here goes. As Duke is brought to his senses by this wailing banshee scream, in that moment he's also transported into a vision. Now, if we recall, Duke and Luz experience visions of seeing a woman in the bottom of a lake on a planet. And Duke is having that same vision again, sort of in very chaotic, flashing scenes in his mind. So he has sort of this whole crazy thing going on in his head with banshee screams and one ear that can barely hear anything. And everything's kind of flashing in his mind. And the image goes from between this lake on a planet that's filling with water or filling with leeches, all these different things, and it keeps flashing back and forth between that and being on an Ironhome ship. So he's getting this really confused message, and it just keeps going back and forth, where there's a woman stranded on an Iron Home ship and surrounded by, essentially humanoids that are clambering around, surrounding her, and there's piles of bodies all around her, and to the point where she's essentially covered by this mound of dead bodies, but that's actually how she ended up surviving. You can see her sort of, protected by the group, sort of like the, avoid the zombies by smelling like them type of thing. They just didn't find her, but somehow she struggled enough to escape when they had left and managed to get a signal out. And so Duke is confused because he's thinking, well, what is happening? We're supposed to go to this planet and find Jasmine, but I'm seeing something different now that I'm here on this ship, and he doesn't know what to make of it. And in the middle of that, he's also desperately trying to figure out what to do to save himself and his crew as we are about to get, essentially they're going to try and tear us to pieces. And he has no other choice in the moment but to shove it aside. But it is absolutely, he sends some looks over to Luz to see if he's maybe experiencing something or seeing something, and all he can see is just, Luz is still trying to convey that he had, like this is what all this is going on. And in the middle of that, we have Sparrow, who is essentially telling us the whole time that this is what he had heard inside the walls of the ship. So all this chaos is going on, and Duke can't tear himself away to figure it out. And it's just one more thing that's kind of driving him crazy. So he doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know what the message is. He desperately wants to talk to Luz about it, but he can't. And he tries to push it all away, shakes his head off, tries to clear his mind, because right now we are faced with these banshee-like creatures and other shambling zombie-like, I guess people that used to live here, and they are coming down on us fast.
So, reminder, everyone gets +1 momentum.
All right. And are the banshees coming because we stopped the Pistons, right?
I don't know if we
was that the
established
series of events?
That was when we noticed them.
Yes. So
they could have been trailing us the whole time. We don't really know.
All right. So how many banshees are we talking here?
There was one that was like immediately in our face, but there were more coming from. So if you recall, Duke was kind of away from you guys, and he had a flashlight out with him, and he was seeing shadows of others approaching. Like he could see their feet shambling around and their legs, passing through the shadows. And that was when he took off to regroup with you guys. And then the one banshee that was really close showed up and let out the shriek.
All right.
What's it gonna be, guys? I don't know what these things are, but we need to get the hell out of here right now. There's more coming.
Well, you guys found the tram, right? Is it working?
No, every tram is busted. I do have a map, but there's no fast way out of here.
Is there any way out of here?
the closest exit, maybe going towards the bridge.
I mean, they don't look like they're fast. We got a shot at just outrunning them.
Let's, yeah.
If we're in engineering, I would imagine that engineering is like on the lower part of any ship.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
Correct. Lower to back.
Lower
Let's
aft,
let's say it is. Since you mentioned it, we'll go with that.
So we should probably, if we have a choice of where to run, let's try to run towards the bridge, like Goshi says. I know obviously we're in an iron home, so it might take hours, maybe a day to walk there without a tram. But what other choice we got?
Yeah, we have a map now, so we're not completely, lost. But I would say, would we consider this an undertaking an expedition?
Yep.
Yes,
I'd
because
say so.
it's the ship. Even though we have a map, we don't know what's in the ship. So
Well,
Okay.
let's
Shall
let our
we-
navigator.
yeah, he can read the
Navigate.
map.
I love maps.
So we can tie this to our progress track for find the source of the distress call, I think.
I
Which
agree.
we
Yes.
have 2 boxes ticked
2
off on that,
boxes.
so
Wow.
we'll continue with that one. All right, so Duke hands Sparrow the map, and he's like, hey, all right, we believe you now. Get us out of here. And he hands you a map that outlines the ship.
All right, so we're trying to get to the bridge, right?
Yeah. We're going to have to walk there.
Looking at this map, if we move at speed, I think we can get us around there maybe half a day's worth. And that's if we're really hauling it. If you guys are up for
Depending on how fast these guys, considering how fast these guys might moving, we might have to move at speed.
all right.
Well, what's the next section or hub that we have to pass through?
Well, it looks like we're gonna, from the engineering room, I'm thinking we pass through this residential district here. Cuts through, what is this? Yeah, it's just this big it's a pretty big residential that'll help cut us through. Looks like a medical segment of the Iron Home here before we get to the bridge, which I would say is our fastest route.
All right.
Those are the quarters by engineering, not typically the upper crust of society, if you know what I mean. We should be prepared.
Oh,
Maybe there's somebody there that can tell us what the hell's going on.
If we're lucky.
if we're lucky.
If we're lucky, we're not going to be here when those sounds get closer.
Yeah.
So can the screaming one see us? Right? It's
I mean,
super
it's
close,
right in
right?
our face. Yeah.
All right,
we're having this discussion when it's
Yeah.
So-
hanging from the scaffolding.
Luce is going to use his shade ability and cloak.
Are you just gonna disappear on us?
Hold on.
See you guys.
Hold on, guys. No, so Luce is going to use a shade ability and completely disappears from everyone's sight. You guys think that Luce is losing it and it's abandoning you. But what Luce is actually doing is climbing the scaffolding with his knife to go and backstab the singular banshee.
Duke sees you cloak and he's like, "What the hell, Luz?" And he pulls out his knife and a pistol, getting ready for the oncoming assault of the banshee.
Would that consider that I have to enter the fray, or could
Yeah,
I?
if you're gonna go and backstab it, I think you do.
All right. So I have to enter the fray first, right?
Yep, that will determine your.
All right. So entering the fray, preparing to act against an unaware foe. That
Mhm.
means I roll some shadow. All right, here we go.
Weak hit or burn your momentum.
Burn your momentum.
Oh,
from
it's
strong
still
hit.
it's still a hit, right? Because it's only
Yes.
entering the fray.
This
so
is true. This is true.
I'm just going to remain in control.
There you go.
All right,
Always a good thing.
I will mark you as in control.
And
Yeah.
since I'm shaded up, is it dark? I forgot.
It's pretty dark because we couldn't.
Yeah,
get the
we had to
power
use
going.
flashlights.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we failed on the.
All right,
power.
so that means that my action die is preset to a 6.
Ooh.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
So
All right,
just-
so I think you're gonna do
I can't literally just
strike,
make this
right?
6, right?
no. You can't. But if you roll the challenge die, you're
Okay.
basically starting
Yeah.
with a 9.
Okay, so yes, it will have to be at close quarters. So it'll be iron, which is not great.
Oh, that's a 1. Okay, so you got a 7.
So I got a 7. All right, here we go. Okay.
So you have a 7. It's a weak
It's
hit.
still a weak hit.
Weak
Yeah.
hit. So in a weak hit, mark progress twice, but exposed to self to danger, you're in a bad spot.
Dope. Mark Parkwest. At least we got that.
Should we have a quick track just for this Banshee encounter?
Just for
Dude. Aren't we still find the source? No, it's not find the source of distress call. Gain it might be a new progress track. Yeah, get to the bridge.
Well, just get away from the Banshees.
Okay,
No?
that isn't the bigger one get to the bridge, and this is part of getting to the bridge.
Oh, I see what you're saying. We could do... That's true, because finding the distress source is not exactly the same
Right.
necessarily. Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
So what does this mean? I'm just in a bad spot, right?
yeah.
The dude got hit.
Is this are we considering this an extreme effort? Getting to the bridge?
Takes 2 ticks.
Formidable?
Oh,
Extreme?
let's say again. The default is always formidable, and we can always adjust as is, as needed, I should say.
Should we say extreme right now, since we have a Banshee in our face?
I mean,
We have a map, so technically it's not that.
I mean, we
extreme.
do have a map, but it's still an iron home.
A question on that. Would this particular thing, since it's like a sneak attack kind of situation, is this like a face danger or like within a scene challenge? Like, does it have to be an encounter, you know?
The way I understand a scene is if we find ourselves in a very complicated situation and we have a goal that could take several different pieces to work, you know, like for example, if we were right now we're in the engine room, so if we could set a scene and say get out of the engine room, and then we would have, you know, potentially several different goals to meet to achieve that, right? So we would take steps to, like, one, getting away. So we could do it. We could say getting away from the Banshee would be one of those things, which is where you face danger.
Did we not do a scene for like resolving whatever was happening in the engine room?
We had individual clocks.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
we had a gather information type stuff.
I think that's why I figured it was a scene, because when you begin a scene, you start a clock.
So we had one clock set up for getting to the terminal. Well, I mean, we could set another clock and say, if we don't resolve that in time, the other Banshees show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
There you
Banshee
go.
crowd shows up.
Yeah. Man.
We could do that.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, we've used this clock in
Switch
this
it up.
way a lot.
Get to okay, so we'll call this Escape the Horde,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like
Why
that.
not?
Sure.
Let's go with that.
It is very likely they are advancing, so do we go as high as almost certain?
Yeah, why
90%?
not? Why not?
Hopefully they didn't eat the whole crew, but yes.
Four ticks? 6? 8?
I
Count.
think it's supposed to be a 4-segment tension clock.
So we get 4.
Okay.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Let's find out. Again, we haven't played in a while. I just want to play.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and then so that means my move would be a face danger move.
I would say so.
Yes.
So I roll shadow. So then, because of that, my 6 would be for this.
I don't
Because
remember what your asset said.
the 6 for shade, since I'm already in cloak and darkness. So when I roll, didn't even need it because it's a strong hit.
Okay.
So I am successful in stabbing this thing in the back. Mark progress on a strong hit with a match, which I don't have, so it doesn't matter.
I'm looking at the link. So
Nice. So from Luce's perspective, he like auto cloaks and immediately starts scaling the like this large beam up to the top, pulls out his blade, and before pushing his blade through the screaming banshee, he grabs on to like the back of the engineer's jumper that he's wearing, stabs him through the skull with the force that pushes them both down to the ground from the rafter, but Luce is on top, basically riding the body on the way down. So you guys are like scrambling around like, what the hell happened to Luce? And then all of a sudden a body just falls out from above you guys, and Luce uncloaks and says, we need to get out of here now, guys.
tick that clock.
So strong hit, mark progress twice. Yes, good job, Luce.
I think it's only one.
Ooh, with the match. Yeah. So it's
Oh,
only
with the
one.
match,
Yeah,
mark
yeah,
progress
yeah.
twice. So once. Excuse me, my bad.
So Sparrow, you lead the way.
Well, now that that banshee is killed, let's undertake an expedition.
Weak
well, I
hit?
got a weak hit on that one. Weak hit, you reach a waypoint, mark progress, but must also choose one, suffer costs en route, or face a risky situation at the waypoint, envision what you encounter.
Ooh, and we're going to the
Ooh.
residential
We're
area.
going to the residential area. So if somebody wants to mark progress.
Okay, I got it. So we switch it to extreme now instead of formidable. Okay.
Okay.
Marking progress then at formidable.
So Sparrow leads the team with haste away from the Banshees and away from engineering. And they eventually make it to the residential area, which is the one of the lower end of the iron homes. So it seems somewhat like a slum, I would say, community. And like, all the houses are pretty much close knit, look pretty old, kind of run down. And as they reach this part of the iron home, they are confronted by a group of armed men who are wearing like really torn and frayed loose clothing, and they're like hiding behind masks, which are like wooden masks, I would say. And they're pretty much confronting the team as soon as they start rolling up to the town, I suppose. And I guess Sparrow kind of just starts reaching for like his gun because we're being pretty much attacked.
So do they attack at just the sight of us?
No, so they're kind of just like trying to assert dominance, but one of the guys, so one of, I guess, who I would assume to be like the leader of the group would be starts yelling at us and is like, who are you? What are you doing here? He's kind of starting to basically interrogate us.
Duke stops, puts his hands out. He's like, whoa. We're not here to eat anybody. We came to investigate a distress signal.
What distress signal are you talking about?
We picked up a shortwave distress signal from a woman somewhere on this ship, and we're just trying to find it. That's it.
My good sir, there ain't no woman here. There hasn't been a woman here for a good 2 years. We are what's left of this community. Who sent you here?
Nobody sent us. We were on our way to a planet. I forget the name of the planet. We're on our way to this planet to find someone. And as we were passing through, we got the signal. That's all I got to tell you, man.
I don't know who you are, and I don't trust any of your kind. So why don't you just go ahead and turn around and go back to where you came from?
Hey, look, I'm happy to get out of your hair, but I mean, we heard it. We'll go out. We'll stay out of your business. But we did hear something. Is that going to be a problem if we keep looking?
If you take one more step towards me, it's definitely going to be a problem.
One of the other armed men kind of like goes to the ear of the one talking, and it's like, Jim, maybe they can rescue us and we can finally get off of this place.
I don't know. Have you seen those banshees? Maybe they're one of them. They're just in disguise. They're trying to trick us.
I don't know about you, man, but I've never seen one of those banshees actually talk to us.
Tie him up. Bring him to the main headquarters. We'll interrogate them some more.
From behind the group, 4 other dudes roll up and hit us in the back of the head. We don't quite pass out, but we get stun locked and our hands get tied up.
Oh, they got the drop on us? Shoot.
So as these men, still wearing their masks, tie us up and drag us into one of the homes, they take us downstairs, and in this really like dimly lit room, you see a cage, a large cage with, steel bars that can hold all 4 of us. No seats, no nothing. But they shove all 4 of us in there, and then they walk out of the room, and we're just kind of there, hands tied inside of this cage. There's room on the outside of the cage in this small square room, but they've left us for ourselves. Lou says, what kind of person has a cage in their basement?
This doesn't seem like very usual circumstances. Who knows what we're dealing with?
Does anybody have any gear that they can use to cut these bindings off of us? Maybe we can sneak out of here before they get back.
Let's do a gear check.
Gear check. Oh, yeah. Find a paper clip.
Gonna MacGyver my way out of this.
Yeah. That is a move, correct? Gear check gear?
Check
I believe
supply.
so, yeah.
Yes.
Check supplies. According to this, we're down to 3 supplies.
Oh, well, that fits the situation.
Yes. So
who's doing our gear check?
and once it's done,
Guess we could all do it. See what they left us with.
sure, why not? Group search the room. Group search the room.
We should probably do it one at a time, though, because
Okay.
the roll could dictate
Right.
that something bad happens.
Who would like to go first then? Check your gear.
I've already killed something, so I'll let you guys go first.
Go ahead, Roman.
All right, then roll plus supply, and our supply is at 3, so let me add 3 to others, or adds 1, 2, 3. All right, let's try to see if this works. Strong hit.
Nice.
Yeah. Strong hit. All right, so
No, he did it in.
I did it on Stargazer. Stargazer. So,
Don't forget, you take 1 momentum.
oh yes, thank you. I'm at full anyway, so and you're ready to act. Oh, look what we found here. And we're all binding. We've all been tied up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, in terms of, what they foolishly did was they tied us up with cloth, not a usual mechanical bindings.
They might be low on resources.
Yeah, so yeah. Oh, look, guys, something sharp. and then he just leans up onto it and starts cutting away at his bindings and gets free. And here, guys, let me help you out. So while one person goes, while Goshi goes ahead and unties, if he can, another person can use the sharp edge that's in the room. So, and in no time, we are no longer in bindings, and we start searching the room to see if we can get out. So I'm guessing this is a gather information next.
Well, we can't really search the room. We're inside of a cage.
Oh, we're in the cage. Oh, we can look at the room or look at the cage, whichever is more practical for anyone.
So as we're getting all our bindings cut off, we hear through some sort of like intercom system, right? We hear that. You know, you give enough people time and they really end up showing you what kind of people they are. We look around, we don't see any face to go along with the voice that we're hearing, but we start hearing the wailing of the banshees again. Again, we hear ksh. So who exactly are you guys? And what have you come to do on this ship? We've been stranded here, living like this for months, and you show up out of nowhere and all of a sudden these banshees are waking up again? Are you here to kill us?
Man, my name is Duke. I'm a courier. These are the guys I hired. They decided to come with me to find my missing wife. We should have just stayed off this damn ship. We got on this ship to help someone in need, and this is where we find ourselves. What are the four of us going to do on an iron home?
Duke, was it? Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to figure out. What is a courier doing all the way out here next to a dying star?
I am looking for my missing wife.
Doesn't seem like your typical kind of package.
Yeah, well, this is not a very typical situation we find ourselves in, is it?
Exactly why you might agree, why we're a little bit hesitant about listening to your lies. Ksh. All of a sudden, the door slides open, and in come 3 banshees. The door slides closed behind them. Now, the banshees can't touch us because of the metal bars, but they're now roaming the room around us, screaming.
That was really uncalled for.
No one responds.
I guess they expected us to just sit here bound. Which is kind of stupid in my opinion.
It is stupid because they didn't even take our weapons.
Yeah. Huh?
You still have yours?
I got my knife.
Did
But
you check?
Oh,
Did you do a supply check?
I guess I can do it. Let me double check.
I'm just curious. I mean,
Yeah. All right, so I'll do 3 for the supply. Random roll. Weak hit. So I have it, but supply is diminished, or it's not quite right. I'll do it's not quite right. So I will lose 2 momentum. So we'll bring it down to 8. Or bring it down to 6. So Luce finds his knife, and through the screaming of the banshee in front of him, does one of these like face to face, like I'm not afraid of you, but obviously behind the bars. And as the banshee is like screaming in his face, Luce quickly puts his left arm through two of the bars, grabs the banshee's head, and stabs it with his knife. And as that happens, Luce is taken aback that the banshee doesn't immediately die, and in fact starts screaming even louder and pulls away, like basically convulsing backwards. So Luce loses his knife and is still trapped inside the bar. Now that banshee is pissed. There are two other banshees still in the room.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Usually when I stab things, it dies. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Ugh.
What the hell are these things? Duke is just looking around for any kind of camera. He's just screaming into the room.
Yeah, I don't like this either. I can't do anything unless there's a computer nearby.
Let me check my gear. 3. Roll. Ooh, miss with a match.
Oh no.
Ooh. On the miss, you don't have it, and the situation grows more perilous.
Oh no.
Okay. So Spare starts feeling around. He's like, okay, do I have any weapons on me? Notices that he doesn't have his pistoles. And over the suddenly there's an interjection over the comms, and a loud gunshot kind of goes through it, and all you hear in the background is whoa, that's a strong gun they got here. Let's add it to the collection. And then the comms just cut off again. Goes back to Sparrow. Damn, did they just hot mic? Damn, they have my gun. Shit.
Well, they didn't leave us all our weapons.
As soon as the comms go off, the door opens again, and this time, another 2 banshees are entering the room.
Oh my gosh! Come on, guys.
So as the 2 additional banshees enter the room, we hear this mechanical whirl, just like a, and all of a sudden, the metal bars that are in the middle of this room start lowering into the floor. Very slowly, almost comically so. And as they start lowering, you hear over the intercom, "Shh. So I see you've met the Wilkins family. You know, this was their house once, back before everything changed. And it's funny because on that day, a ship with 4 supposed couriers came, and maybe hours later, half of our crew was already dead. And another quarter started having weird visions and dreams of lakes with leeches. So I'm going to ask you one more time, sir. Who the fuck are you?"
Wait. Another ship came here with couriers? That had to have been my wife.
Focus on the question at hand. Who are you? The bars keep lowering. They're above 6 inches above our head.
My name is Duke, goddammit. I'm a courier. That's it. Quit playing these games.
In the midst of everything happening, Luce starts feeling incredibly lightheaded and sick. Starts feeling like a grumbling in his stomach and starts dry heaving. So banshees are screaming. The bars are lowering. We're all freaking out. Duke is screaming into darkness. And Luce is basically having a coughing attack. And he feels something like vomit about to come up out of his stomach. And as he turns over and finally releases, you hear a and out comes a single leech, splayed out into the floor in this eerie blue light amongst the darkness. And immediately, the banshees stop wailing. Ksh! What the fuck is that? Did that just come from inside me? What the hell?
I thought we had dealt with all these.
I mean, the medicine they gave me was experimental. I don't know what they did, but it stopped crawling in my skin. Maybe it's inside my stomach? Luz starts like panicking and like scratching at his skin as this singular leech is wiggling around the room. The fuck, I just forgot the name. The Screamers? No.
The Banshees.
Banshees?
The Banshees.
The Screamers.
The Banshees focus in on the singular leech. Curious, not angry, calm, but following it closely with their eyes. And as we're all caught in this moment, we realize that the bars have lowered 100%. But the Banshees no longer care about the crew.
Well, I wouldn't normally say I'm glad you're throwing up leeches, but goddamn, if your timing ain't great.
While they're distracted, get to the door.
You were carrying that in you this whole time.
You think I knew?
I thought, well, you don't know. You could be hiding it from us.
For all we know, there are leeches inside of you. You were infected with it too. And so was Goshi.
I think you're remembering it wrong. At this point, like, Sparrow starts basically hallucinating again at this point, just from seeing like the leech. So I guess we're becoming like very argumentative with each other. And Sparrow's just like, no, you're definitely remembering it wrong. I was fine the whole time. Pushes basically loose against like the bars of our cell. Just shoves him into the wall. And it's like, yeah, you're just making a whole bunch of bullshit, tearing this team apart.
Sparrow, get a hold of yourself. Are you kidding me? You've been leading us this whole time, and look where we find ourselves every single time. You're telling me that it's my fault that we're here, that we made it to this residential area? It wasn't me reading the map that got us to this ship. It wasn't me saying that we should land at that way station. Maybe you're with them.
It can't be me. Who's the one that led us to this on this stupid expedition out here? We were supposed to just do an original delivery job, not out here looking for somebody's wife.
Hey, I gave you an out. Don't you put this back on me.
And then Sparrow starts basically kind of just breaking down mentally. Just at the side of the leech. Because I think he's just getting flashbacks of the whole ordeal on the outpost.
As all this is happening and Luce is also freaking out and just dealing with all this anxiety, you hear that door slide open again. And the voice on the other end is like whispering, "Come through the door." And it's the same voice over the overcom, but in a low, hushed tone so as not to disturb anything. It catches us all off guard, and while everyone is distracted by the leech, the team slowly scurries out and the door closes behind them.
I want to check my gear. Weak hit. Okay. Duke, while we're making our way out of the room, Duke is checking his person for his gear. He does find his knife, which is okay as far as he can tell, thank goodness. He finds his sidearm, but it is he tries to kind of work it and like check the chamber and all that stuff, but it is jammed up for some reason, and it's not shaking loose at all. So he has sort of resigned to the fact that he's not going to be able to use that gun until he can spend some real dedicated time to cleaning it up. It is useless now, for now.
So as we get pulled into the other side of the door, we're greeted by 5 men in masks, including the leader who is speaking through the intercom. And he says, maybe you guys are what you say you are. Maybe you're not. We can't be sure either way, but what we do know is that you have the leech. And as he says, you have the leech, the other members just kind of look at each other, and there's this sense of awe, but also fear. The leader asks Duke directly, how do you guys have the leeches inside of you?
It's a story, man. But we've had several different run-ins with these leeches quite recently, actually. This is Luz. He was actually pretty badly infected the last time we had this encounter, and then we had to essentially, so I'll spare you the details, but we had to go and we were trying to acquire what was supposed to help him. And while we were gone, he was treated by a group that was unknown to us. They used some sort of experimental treatment on him that was supposed to have cured him, which is why we were surprised to see this happen. But he was infected very badly. And we have all been exposed to them in some form or fashion. Interestingly enough, when we left the station that we were at, we were actually on good terms with them.
You can see that the other members there are kind of like holding back and not speaking, but one of them can't help himself. And as Duke is ending his sentence, he says, have you seen her? Have you seen the queen?
Yeah.
All the dudes take like a step back and a deep breath in, like, what the hell?
What does this all mean to you?
The leader starts talking again. Like I told you, people came on a ship and everything started going crazy. And what it began was with visions of her. Visions of this woman and a silhouette that dispersed into a million leeches. She infested every bit of our dreams. Some people started seeing her moving across the ship in the dark. And after a couple days, the men started killing their wives and daughters. And they said it was in honor and tribute to her. Like we told you, there are no women here anymore.
Duke gives a very, very sidelong, these guys are fucking crazy look to his party. It's like, well, she was the one who gave us the coordinates where we're supposed to find my wife, who, interestingly enough, resembles her quite a bit. It's not the same woman, at least as far as I could tell, but she said she knew where she was, and that's what put us on this pathway.
And she led you here of all places. What else did she make you do for her? Did she make you kill for her?
Twice, actually.
So you're just a pawn like we are.
I would never have killed my wife, though. We offed some dudes who were trying to kill us. And then we killed a ship full of other people we didn't know.
Were they trying to kill you or were they trying to kill her?
They were with the same group.
Didn't you just say that one of them saved one of your crew members?
We were told that that's what happened.
Mm,
None of us are actually there.
of course. Look, I don't know who you are. I believe half of the things coming out of your mouth. But what I do know is that you're in her web just like we are. So let's go sit and figure this shit out. Because my men need to get off of this ship. And right now, you're the only ride home.
Let's say you did get off the ship. What would you do?
Some of us might go back to a land that we came from. Frankly, some of us here might not even make it outside of these walls. But what I do know is that we need to get away from the horrors that we've committed here. We need to atone for what we've done. And if anything, I need to get out of here so that I can at least pass in peace. I won't die here where she died with me. So the leader leads you guys into a different room where there's morsels of food laid out, stale bread, dirty brown water, molded pieces of cheese, and says, "Here, get your strength up. Because if we're going to leave this ship, there's a lot of shit between us and the exit, and we're going to have to go through it together."
Are they staying in the room?
No, this was all in the hallway. Oh, in the room of the food?
Yeah.
They leave one person there at the door, and everyone else leaves. Guys, what the hell was that?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess we're not going to the bridge anymore. We just got to get out of Dodge.
That dude kind of made a point, though, right? Like, we killed for that woman. We don't even know who she is.
Was I used? Were we used? Did I just blindly fall into this?
And then the woman was basically who we met in the tunnels. I think that's what they're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I remember her. Oh man.
I mean, we did everything that she asks. We even put the box on that other ship.
What is her game?
Did we turn into accomplices or enemies of the state? Oh, or is it all a dream? Can someone pinch me? Is this a dream? Oh, by the way, thank you for throwing up. It kind of reminded me. Goshi starts turning a little bit pale because he remembers throwing up a bit. And he's like, please don't throw up a leech. Please don't throw up a leech. You know what? I'm not hungry.
I'm not
really
eating
can't
this
eat.
shit.
Yeah. I can't stomach it. It just brings back too much trauma to me.
So we came onto this ship because we heard a distress signal, right?
Yeah.
Of a woman. And now they say they've killed all the women?
That's what they're claiming. Do we believe that?
Should we ask to see if the signal came from the ship? If I can get access to a terminal? We can
I don't know
ask.
about asking, but if you can get yourself to a terminal, maybe you can find out.
Yeah, but Boris is watching us. I'm just gonna call him Boris.
It's fine with me.
So, yeah, Boris is just watching. Hey, maybe we can convince him to come with us, and in order to do that, we have to get on his good graces. And maybe he can give me access to a terminal.
Why don't you go talk to him and see what you can figure out, and we'll try to formulate some sort of plan of what to do here. I gotta tell you guys, I think I'm losing it. I'm not sure which way is up anymore. I'm not sure who's the good guy, if we ever were good guys. But, and he turns to Duke, Captain, I don't know how much further I got in this.
I hear you, Luce. I hear you. I'm going to level with you guys. I know I made the calls. I know I said you guys could leave and you stayed loyal and faithful. If the majority thinks we just got to pull the plug on this, then we pull the plug. This sounds like it has gone so far down a rabbit hole that I do not want any of us to be in any further than we've already gone.
Thank you for the option, but it also is your wife, and if there is a chance that she could be alive, it would be worth it.
It's been a long time, man. I'm holding on to hope here, but that could be exactly how I was manipulated. And I can't have that on my conscience. That the three of you would lay your lives down like that when I don't even have any proof.
Look, let's look at this logically. At the end of the day, the first thing we need to do, wife or no wife, is get out of this room, figure out what the hell's going on, and at least get back to our ship. These dudes might have taken my weapons, but they have not taken my ability to cloak. So Goshi, why don't you talk to Boris, see what you can do about getting to a terminal. Use your charm. But I'm going to sneak out the door cloaked and see what information I can gather and bring back to us so we can make a decisive plan without these motherfuckers knowing what we're doing.
I agree with Luce. Although we did swear an iron vow to you, Captain. I know I did at least 2 times. I will follow your lead, Captain. If you excuse me, let me go see if I can talk to Boris.
This shit show has gone so sideways, it's not even funny.
Oh, make a connection. Yeah. I'm going to make a
Boris?
connection with this guy. Yeah, that's the equivalent of making in another game. Well, make a connection or just gather information? You know what? Let's make a connection. We haven't done this. So
I think that's different,
I think
right?
that's like a long-term...
That's like a relationship thing.
Yeah.
When
If
you search
anything-
out a new relation, well, he's trying to get off the ship too. So I'm assuming that if he wants to get on our good graces, he needs to, play ball with us. Otherwise, I'll do the gather information.
If you're trying to you're trying to turn this guy.
Yeah,
maybe
I would say compel.
Okay, that makes more sense. Compel. All right, I shall use compel.
Okay. As Goshi turns loose auto cloaks.
Okay.
Can't see him.
I either have heart, iron, or shadow. And for me, heart and shadow is the same because iron is one. So I'm going to use heart. I will use heart. Just to make sure that all right, I got no assets to help me out. So I walk up to him and let's see. Weak hit. As above, but the agreement comes with a demand or complication. Oh, okay. I walk up to here and say, Boris, I need to confirm if we got deceived and this signal is fake or it's real. I need access to a computer to see if it's from here. And Boris looks at me, so he looks behind and checks, listens to the door. If I get you to a computer, will you take me with you? And he goes, yeah, we have no choice. You'll probably all you have to do is yell and they'll come after us. But yeah, I'll take you out. I'll take you out of here. Do you iron swear vow to it? It's like, dang it. Takes out on his necklace what looks like a computer chip, but it's made of iron. On my iron, I vow to take you with me off this ship and get you to our ship if you take me to computer or terminal. And I put back my iron, and he's satisfied. So he moves into, just steps out of the door, presses onto the panel, and out pops a computer terminal hidden. That's that's just open. And then I can keep going, or someone tell if you want. We can cut to loose if you want. Microphone.
Keep checking.
Okay, I'll keep checking. So if that's the case, I do gather information next. Yeah, I get to use wits this time. You know what? I'm gonna see if the sheet works this time. If you've been working on it, let's try to see if it works.
It is still not working.
Still not working?
Consistently.
Let me just try anyway. I got wits, and looking at my sheet, will my tech abilities help? Nope, it won't. But okay, so everyone, can you just do just roll d20s, or the 2d10s, I mean, excuse me. Just tell me what you got.
Do you want it like a 100 result?
Yeah, 100 result, because this game only uses a d6 and two 10-siders. So.
48.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
43.
Okay. So Goshi tries to be sneaky about it, but you see him pull out of his pocket some sort of cord. And underneath, he takes one end, and it looks like a jack, and he puts it behind his ear, and you hear a... And then he plugs the other end into the computer. And then next thing you know, it looks like he goes into a trance or silence. But, it looks... And the computer just, on the screen, it starts coming alive. So I have to do gather information. Add... All right, and then I'm using wits as per. Let me double check to see if I'm using the correct asset. Strong hit. Okay, gather information. A strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The passive, you must follow our action, must take you progress to make clear. +2 momentum. All right, so you see, looks like Goshi puts his head down as if he went to sleep, but the words on the screen keep going. And then it stops, a line blinks, and you see Goshi's head go back up, turns off the computer, jacks himself, and says, okay, there is no signal on here. If, from what I understand, communications has been down, maybe at their antenna array, and it's been down. So I don't know where this signal's coming from, boss, but we can get out of here. And I actually have a decent route to get to our ship.
So you're saying it did not come from this ship?
Yeah, not from this ship. Their communications have been out. Which begs the question, where's the communication coming from? And I can't tell because, again, the communication system is shot. So I can't tell if it came from another source. Maybe if we get back on the ship, I can. Should we cut to what Luce decides to do?
Yeah. So I will do a gather information real quick. Roll plus wits. You got a strong hit. So discover something helpful and specific, a path you must follow, or action you must take to make progress clear, and 2 momentum. So let me add my 2 momentum. So while all this is happening with Goshi and Boris, Luce sneaks out, and about 15 minutes go by, and Goshi is relaying this information to the team while Boris stands by the door. And all of a sudden, behind Boris, you see Luce decloak and grab his head and twist it around. Boris lays dead on the ground. Guys, we need to leave now. I couldn't get far. These guys are everywhere, but I did manage to find where all the women are.
So they lied.
Why did you do that?
They didn't lie. They're all dead, and these men killed them. We need to get out. I don't know what's happening, but this isn't worth it. Captain, I made a vow to you to find your wife. If she was here, she's not alive. But my visions say that she is, which means she's not here. Let's cut ties and get the hell out of this place.
And Duke looks to the other two, waiting for their vote.
Yeah, Goshi's still looking at Boris. I made an iron vow.
Well, lucky for you, you don't have to fulfill it anymore. Duke is preparing to go.
The coast is clear. We leave now. Let's get our stuff. It's in the next room.
I didn't say I get him there safely, did I? Semantics. Got it. All right.
Yeah,
If they
chop off
killed
a
all the
finger or
women,
something.
we're out. Yeah. All right.
Well, you didn't break the vow. Luce just broke him. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay. I can live with that. Let's go. Oh, by the way, the signal didn't come from the ship.
All the more reason. Great job, Goshi. Guys, let's get out before they notice anything's going. I did have to maybe take out 1 or 2 people as I searched for this information. But I do know where our gear is. Let's grab it. Sparrow, can you get us back to the ship?
Sure thing.
Just as we're grabbing our gear from the other room, we hear an alarm sound. Thanks for tuning in to Dawn of the Diliculum on the Pay the Price podcast. Dawn of the Diliculum and the Pay the Price podcast are products and trademarks of Samurai Beat LLC, which is a fan-funded organization made for you and made possible by you at patreon.com/samuraibeat. We seek to entertain and enable adulting gamers like you, and we appreciate your support, your confidence, and your inspiration. Thank you.